Hi, everyone. It's Dale Powers, the Director of Color Guard for WGI. Welcome to 2023. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm joined by my colleague and friend, Carlo, and we're going to talk to you about some things that are new in 2023. So let me go through a couple of things that have happened as a result of rule changes and things that were discussed at the advisory board meeting. The first one that a lot of people are aware of, but people have still asked questions, is about timing. So last year, because we were coming out of COVID, there were no minimum times. And this year, the advisory board voted to return everything back to 2020. What that basically means is that there are show minimums and authorized equipment minimums that every color guard has to meet. Those are available online in the rule book, but they're basically returning to the 2020 minimums that had been there before. There was one minor modification that I want to make you aware of, and that was with regional A guards. If you are reclassified to the A class, the advisory board voted that you will not be required to increase your show time to the Scholastic A minimum. Just keep that in mind if that's something that happens to you. A couple of other things that we're doing this year a little bit different. One of them involves the schedule when you go to a WGI regional. So typically the schedule would get put out, and if there were changes, we would just continue to update the schedule. And often, because the circuits reclassify people, as does WGI, that schedule could go through 2 or 3 iterations. Well, what's happening now is the initial schedule will get put out and it will say draft. And then on the Thursday prior to the regional, the final schedule will be released. Now, we know it's a little bit close to what the show is, the time is of the event, but we really feel like we can do everything internally and update one schedule. We think it'll be easier. We don't feel that there's any situation where anybody's time would vary more than 1 hour. And in most cases, it'll be less than that. But it will allow us to do any reclassifications that WGI has done or the circuits have done. So just keep that in mind. We made a couple of changes to the review process as well. At the advisory board meeting, they voted in a proposal that says now automatically the top 2 A guards in each class and the top open guard are the groups that are automatically reviewed every WGI regional. Now, the process is still in place that allows anybody to be reviewed, but automatically reviews will happen only now for the top 2 A's and the top open. As we did in the past, regional A guards can be reviewed, but it won't be everybody at any particular show. It'll just be those groups that I mentioned. The process will still be the same in terms of you'll be notified, you'll have to upload a video, and then you'll be notified by WGI what the results are. There will be one minor adjustment, and that's that we will try and send you a text notification at the conclusion of the regional, because in some cases, instructors have said they didn't get the note that they had to upload a video. We'll make sure that everybody is notified. But if you finish in first or second in Scholastic A or Independent A, or first in the open class, you can expect to receive a note that you will be reviewed by the review committee. The steering committee also decided recently that we were going to not use CDs as a form of playing music at WGI regionals. This is a result of a number of things. The biggest one being that last year at WGI Championships, we only had 4 groups that had a CD with them as either their primary or their secondary. Everybody else is using Competition Suite and their personal device as either their primary or their secondary. CD machines with variable speed are no longer manufactured. In consulting with many of the professionals, John Flowers and John Capilupo, who work for WGI, the information that we've gotten is that there are many more opportunities for something to go wrong with the music with a CD. So we're going to just use personal devices and Competition Suite. So keep that in mind. Have plenty of staff people that might have your music on their personal device, but CDs will no longer be offered. There's some circuits may still have that machine, but it's not going to be something that at regionals we're going to require to be there. I did also want to make you aware that in 1 or 2 cases, we may split the Scholastic A class at a regional when we're putting together the schedule. So you understand how this all works is when we look at the schedule for prelims, if we're dealing with a double panel, we're trying to make sure that those panels leapfrog so that they can do critique with the people that they've already viewed. And we'll talk about critique a little bit later with Carl, but there may be, at a show you're going to, a case where Scholastic A rounds 1 and 2 may go on, and then we might insert Regional A or Independent A so that the first 2 rounds can have critique, and then rounds 3 and 4 will go on after that. You'll still have the same panel. It's just that we're going to allow that panel to do critique with some. It'll do a number of things. One, it'll keep you, if you're in rounds 1 and 2, from having to hang around all day, although you might like to do that. And I'm sure our event partners would like you to. But it will allow the critique to happen while it's still a little bit fresher in the judges' minds, always a positive. But we also think that it will keep both panels moving throughout the entire day. So keep that in mind, that that's something that may happen to you during the course of the day. Thanks for joining us for part 1 of what's new in 2023. We'll see you again shortly. Thanks.